Feeling is the secret, not emotions. Hey there, my friend. If you've been studying Neville Goddard's teachings and you're a little confused, what does the feeling of the wish fulfilled mean? How do you enter in that state of fulfillment? Well, everybody feels like that, right? Everybody who is studying Neville feels like that. So my intention in this video is to just contemplate on the distinction between feelings and emotion, because I do believe that when we understand this distinction on a deeper level, then it will be so much easier to live from the end, from the state of the wish fulfilled. And to start this, I actually want to read you a quote and contemplate on it. Here is what Neville said in his book, The Power of Awareness. Be still, least action, and know that you are that which you desire to be. The end of longing should be being. Translate your dream into being. Perpetual construction of future states without the consciousness of already being them, that is, picturing your desire without actually assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, is the fallacy and mirage of mankind. This is what we do wrong, isn't it? It's just constructing states of our desire fulfilled and not actually surrendering into those states, surrendering into the feelings that come from those states. And what does that mean? So if we see ourselves as consciousness, and another thing that Neville talks about is that consciousness is the one and only reality. I've actually just shot a video about this just recently. You can check it out. I'll put it in the description. Consciousness being the one and only reality, our awareness of being consciousness. So this awareness, this attention of consciousness, it can either be attracted from without, circumstances that you have no control over attract your attention. Your attention can either be attracted from without or directed from within. Do you follow me so far? How could our consciousness, our attention, be directed from without or directed from within? Attracted from without, sorry, or directed from within. What attracts our attention if it comes from the outside? It's always doubt, isn't it? It's circumstances, situations, people, what they say that is not in alignment with what we desire. And then what happens is that if our attention is attracted from without, this is when we experience emotions. And this is not feeling is the secret. When we experience emotions, they're just a response to a circumstance that exists outside of us and we don't have power over it, right? So this is the little explanation of emotions. They're just emotional reactions coming from the emotional body, unconscious assumption of what circumstances outside of us mean. We give meaning to what happens outside of us, and then there is the emotional reaction. And here is the thing, feeling is the secret, not emotions. There is a difference between feelings and emotions. If you can control your feelings, this is where your power lies. Not in your emotions. Your emotions, they're just waves passing through your consciousness, but you don't have to always surrender to them. They don't have to overwhelm your consciousness. Does this make sense? So what is a feeling now? When we understand that emotion is just a response to a circumstance, what is a feeling? If we have constructed a state of being in alignment with our wish fulfilled, the feeling is the state of its fulfillment. And the curious thing is that once we have experienced that feeling of the wish fulfilled, one time, we have surrendered into it. We have visualized, we have contemplated, what would it feel like if my desire is fulfilled? Really went deep into that contemplation. And I'm spending time doing this on a daily basis, but I was contemplating around this simple idea that your desire is already fulfilled in a surrendered state. And I'll go into that in a moment. But so when we really surrender to the feeling of our wish fulfilled, the state of that wish fulfilled, this feeling is more powerful than the seeming emotions, the little emotions that we experience as a response to circumstances. If you really have accepted the feeling of your wish fulfilled, every emotion that gets triggered is just a reminder of what you have already experienced in your wish fulfilled. It doesn't move you as much. If it moves you, this means that you're doubting, you still haven't fully accepted the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Does this make sense? If an emotion can move you, it doesn't have a lot of power. It's attracted from without. While feelings are directed from within. You choose your feelings. Your emotional reactions, they're attracted from the circumstances you experience. But if you have fully accepted a feeling, then emotions don't have power over you. So here is something, another thing that Neville said. Every state is already there as mere possibilities. You can literally conjure up, create a situation in your imagination that includes the possibility of its manifestation. So every state is already there as mere possibilities as long as we think of them. Now, here is the curious part. Who is the one thinking of the state? Who is that one? Who is the one thinking of the state of your wish fulfilled? That's your current, present self-concept that doesn't believe reality is complete and the reality of the feeling of your wish fulfilled to be complete. If you're just thinking of the state of your desire being fulfilled, you're not being it. Being is the secret. Feeling is the secret. Being that feeling, surrendering into that feeling. So here is how it continues. Every state is already there as mere possibilities, as long as we think of them, but as overpoweringly real when we think from them, when we think from the state of our wish fulfilled. How do we do that? Here comes faith, my friend. And I'll just continue this contemplation because it was really emotionally entertaining, I would say. I was able to release a lot of stuck emotions that were reactions to circumstances that I was doubting. So this is why I think contemplation of the wish fulfilled is of paramount importance when we want to make the law of assumption work for us. If we are surrendered into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, again, sorry to be repeating myself a lot of times. Sometimes I think I know it all. I don't, trust me. But the more we continuously repeat what Neville is teaching, the more we can accept and live by this law. So if we are surrendered into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, its assumption is complete. I am already it. Reality is complete. Consciousness being the one and only reality. My consciousness, directed from within the feeling of the wish fulfilled, can only think from that state, not of it. If it thinks of it, you're not the same as the feeling. Does this make sense? You're not embodied within the feeling. So this is where my contemplation went. Your desire is already fulfilled in a surrender state. This is a thought that appeared in my mind. I was like, what a curious thought. What if I go deep into it? What if I contemplate? And then I started questioning, what is a surrendered state? What is a surrendered state? Who is the one that can find himself in a surrendered state of being? Well, it's a state of no effort. Obviously, how could we exert effort if we are already that which we want to be? We are it. There is no effort. The one who would be efforting is not the one who is in the surrendered state. Your self-concept is not complete. It's not one with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And that's why emotions are still overpowering you. They're still having control over you. You're attracted to circumstances that trigger emotional responses, that make you doubt the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And if we question further, who exerts effort to bring about one's desire? Who is that one that exerts effort, that wants to make it so, that wants to prove to himself that it is the case? Who is that one? Who is that one? The limited concept of ourselves that doesn't accept reality for what it is, complete. That limited concept of ourselves thinks of itself that it's the body-mind, living in a separate reality outside of it, and wants to influence it. That's why it exerts effort. If we go beyond that for a moment and question further, so who is the one who exerts effort to bring about one's desire? Well, obviously, it's the one who doesn't have faith in the wish fulfilled, right? Who else could it be? And then we question further, what is faith? Whose desire it is? And if we remember what Neville speaks about always, consistently in his books, where does Neville believe one's desire comes from? I don't remember the exact way he phrased it, but he's always saying that one's desires are coming from the awareness of being. That awareness that is aware of all aspects of our life, and it is aware of our desires. So this we can also call God. Our desires, they belong to God. So what is faith? And who do we have faith in? If feeling is no emotion, and if we need to be in the feeling of the wish fulfilled and think from that feeling, what is faith? Faith simply is this practice, thinking from the state of the wish fulfilled. So how do we make that practical? Obviously, this is a question we need to answer, right? So let's imagine that you're manifesting whatever you're manifesting, a specific person, job opportunity, whatever it is. For you to be consistent in being the state of your wish fulfilled, right? So surrendered in that state, because your desire is already fulfilled in a surrendered state. Anytime you find yourself doubting, or anytime you find yourself being influenced by a circumstance, having an emotional reaction to it, this is a reminder to think from the state of the wish fulfilled. So it's always about asking this question: if I were the version of myself, or something in those lines, if I were the version of myself whose desire is already fulfilled, if my desire is my life, if I'm being my desire, if I'm in the state of being of my desire fulfilled, how would I respond to that present circumstance? Do you follow? This is the reminder. This is how you can have faith. Because if your desire is coming from a higher power, higher consciousness, God, then you know that if it's coming from there, it's fulfilled. Reality is complete. It is in your consciousness. Consciousness is the one and only reality. If your limited self-concept, body-mind, reacts to the circumstantial experience with an emotion, then this emotion is simply a reminder, my friend. Does this make sense? So how would you respond? How would you think from the state of your desire fulfilled? That's the reminder. If we can do that, then we can live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Thank you so much for staying with me, and I'll see you around in the other videos in my channel.